The story begins by showing the city of Berlin, where a luxury car stopped on the side of the road. News of the explosion quickly spread to the media, reporting that in just 1 week, several similar incidents had occurred allegedly related to terrorist activity. However, the news didn't catch the attention of a man named Matt Turner. He was a stock market investor who invested in a large company under the guidance of his best friend, a CEO named Anders.
Listen, I need you to give Carl at ST instead. Need you to do your thing.
I'll talk to him. He'll be fine.
You're an asshole.
Matt himself has a small family that is not doing well. He is so busy monitoring stock prices' ups and downs that he often forgets his duties as a husband and father. Small arguments often occur between Matt and his wife, Heather. Heather was visibly upset when she realized Matt's insensitivity, which was only focused on his mobile phone. Moreover, when she heard the answer from her husband, who had refused to take their children to school. The lack of attention from their father certainly made their 2 children, Zach Turner and Emily Turner, behave indifferently. They choose to be busy with their own world. What's even sadder is that the 2 children no longer have respect for their father, especially Zach, the eldest child who is now growing up.
Get in the car. We're going. Now. Where's your brother?
I don't know. He was walking.
Unexpectedly, Matt, already sitting in his car seat, did not realize that he had activated a bomb under his seat. Automatically, his luxury car detected a malfunctioning security system. Although Matt was aware of the malfunction, he had no idea it was triggered by a dangerous piece of electronics now targeting his safety and his children. Matt, who no longer cares about the faulty system in his car, immediately rushes off to pick up Zach, who is on foot, and take them both to school. Matt saw Zach on foot and firmly told him to enter the car immediately.
Zach, get in the car this second! Please! Thank you.
I think I can see my bone.
On the way to school, there was no conversation between the father and his 2 children. They are focused on their mobile phones, now they're best friends, not realizing that moments like this should be used to unite a family's warmth. Suddenly, a mobile phone rang. Nat asked his children to answer the call, but Zach and Emily said it wasn't their phone. Nat finally tried to search and found a mobile phone in the box in the middle of the car, showing a call from an unknown number. Despite not knowing the phone's owner, a curious Matt decided to answer the call.
Turner, there is a bomb under your seat. Be in that seat right now.
All right, that's enough.
If you...
Not long after, Matt looked at the mobile phone screen, which showed a photo of him being watched by someone. Anxiety instantly came over his heart and mind. His concentration while driving was disrupted, and he focused on the phone screen until he did not realize that a car stopped in front of him.
You crazy? You just missed the turn.
The long traffic jam made Matt detour to find an alternative road. At the same time, the phone rang again, but this time Matt did not respond to the call. Matt then tried to find out by groping under his seat until he discovered that there was a bomb under his seat.
Car's breaking down? Great.
Dad.
Not wanting to take a risk that would jeopardize their safety, Matt finally answered the call using a headset so that his children would not know what the caller was talking about.
Do you understand?
Yes.
On me again, and I detonate.
Realizing that the perpetrator had watched his movements, Matt became suspicious of the motorcyclist following his car from behind.
Driving. Do exactly what I say.
At the same time, the perpetrator again ordered Matt to take Zach and Emily's mobile phones and throw them away. Matt thought about confirming whether the motorcyclist was the culprit at that moment. Quickly, Matt made a quick side road turn and went into sudden braking mode.
Goodbye.
Now. 3. Hang on, kids.
Oh my God! You just hit Zach's girlfriend.
What are you doing?
Are you out of your mind?
Shortly after, Matt received a message with the location given by the perpetrator. Matt immediately followed the directions to the location. Upon arrival, Matt was forced to witness a man named Sylvain, his client. Currently, Sylvain is also being terrorized by the same bomber. There, the perpetrator deliberately pits Matt against him, as if Matt is responsible for all of this.
He said we're gonna die because of you!
No, I don't want to die.
Stop it! Just stop! Just need to stay calm and think.
However, in the midst of the panic situation, Sylvain's girlfriend looked suspicious to a police officer who happened to pass near their car. The officer approached their car and told them to get out. Sylvain refused as he realized that it would trigger a bomb explosion. His girlfriend, becoming increasingly panicked, insisted on getting out of the car regardless of Sylvain's prohibitions. Seeing the situation, Matt immediately rushed to leave the place. However, without realizing it, a CCTV camera at the corner of the street recorded his car. The powerful explosion that killed 3 lives was a decisive action from the perpetrator, who indirectly warned Matt that his threat was no joke. After that, the perpetrator ordered Matt to contact Heather immediately. Matt tried several times to contact her, but there was no answer. Eventually, Matt contacted his best friend, Christina. Christina informed him that Heather was at her lawyer's office to process divorce papers. Matt was shocked, as were Zach and Emily, who were shocked to realize that their parents would soon separate. Matt then looked up the lawyer's phone number on the internet and called him. After successfully speaking to the lawyer, the phone was handed over to Heather. Matt told her everything that was going on.
There's a man who has put a bomb in the She's fine. They're both fine.
Is Zach okay?
Yes. Do you understand?
No, I don't understand.
Hearing the story, Heather was confused and almost didn't believe it. However, Matt continued to try to convince her and asked her to come to AIG Bank and take all the money in the safe.
To go to the AIG Bank in Tiergarten. If I wasn't enough for you, I'm sorry.
While waiting for Heather, Matt suddenly had an idea. He pressed the mute button on his headset and opened the news channel on his monitor.
Informationen aus Ermittlerkreisen aus, dass es sich offenbar bombengleiches Fahrzeug jetzt befindet. Gesucht wird. Die Ermittler bitten darüber hinaus.
I promise I will get you out.
A short time later, Heather called Matt, and Matt immediately reactivated the mute button so that they could connect again. The perpetrator then ordered Matt to tell Heather to put the money in the trunk and escape. However, the perpetrator suddenly changed his plan when they arrived at the bank. He forced Matt to tell Heather to give all the money to a man in a blue suit sitting in the park.
It's all...
However, the man looked confused, and suddenly, the heavily armed police raided him. Of course, this made Matt confused and worried about Heather. However, he still could not do anything under the orders of the perpetrator, who also told him to leave the place immediately. On the way, Matt was still confused and wondered what the perpetrator was up to. Then, the perpetrator told Matt that taking money from the local bank was just a diversion. The perpetrator also told him about a dark fund of 208 million euros of investor money deposited in one of the banks in Dubai, which was an emergency investment guarantee fund and was only known by Matt and Anders. Hearing this, Matt was immediately shocked. He thought, how could the perpetrator know the secret funds that clearly only he and Anders knew? Then, the perpetrator again sent a message containing the location that Matt currently had to go to. Apparently, the perpetrator deliberately brought Matt and Anders together at that location to discuss the dark funds. Not long after, Matt arrived at the destination, according to the perpetrator's orders, not far from the train station. Matt saw Anders' car parked only a few meters away from his. Matt's arrival was greeted by Anders, who showed a look of disappointment on his face. Anders could not believe Matt could do that to his best friend. In this case, Anders suspected that Matt had planted a bomb in his car, just like Sylvain had.
And Psycho does this to his own best friend.
Okay, just...
If I did something to piss you off, I'm sorry.
When Matt tried to explain what had happened, the perpetrator suddenly forced Matt to ask Anders to approve the disbursement of the total funds of their account in Dubai. Under the perpetrator's control, Matt was again forced to threaten Anders. If Anders did not immediately transfer the funds to his account, then he would be killed.
You did this for money?
Tell him.
Killed them. For money.
Or I will... kill you.
Reluctantly, Anders finally transferred it. However, Matt's hopes for his friend's safety were far from his expectations. The perpetrator actually told Matt to kill Anders with a gun in exchange for his life and his children.
I did what you wanted!
6.
Let me go!
Of course, Matt could not do that to his best friend, let alone in front of his children. Matt also refused the perpetrator's orders by not firing until a train finally passed. As a result of the explosion, Anders was killed instantly, and debris from the explosion also hit Emily's leg. Matt, who knew about it, immediately asked Zach to tie his sister's leg using a tie. Realizing that his daughter was injured by the perpetrator's actions made him very emotional, so he no longer cared about the perpetrator's orders. Matt decided to take Emily to the hospital. However, on the way to the hospital, the police were already on guard in every city corner. At the same time, the perpetrator again threatened to blow up Matt's car remotely if Matt did not immediately contact the bank in Dubai to transfer the money to the perpetrator's crypto account. Fortunately, as Matt enters the long tunnel, the signal suddenly cuts out, making Matt realize that the bomb will no longer be triggered using a remote phone, as it requires a signal connected to the perpetrator's phone.
Stay awake, sweetie. It's almost over.
I'm tired.
Not long after, Heather also arrived on the scene. After getting out of the car, she wanted to ensure that Matt and his children were okay. However, the police prevented her, leaving Zach wondering why his mom wasn't allowed to see them.
My daughter needs help!
I'll tell them. Hey! Help us! My sister!
Help! Anyone!
Not long after, a female detective met Matt and spoke to him.
Everyone okay?
She's lost a lot of blood.
Good girl.
Just get us out of this car. There are pressure triggers. Go.
Dad.
Afterwards, Matt asked the detective if he could speak to Heather, and the detective allowed him to do so. On that occasion, Matt apologized for what had happened, admitted his mistakes, and told Heather that he had not been a good husband and father in his family.
I love you, baby.
Matt.
I'm sorry.
Just come home.
After expressing his regret and promising to reunite his family, Matt began to devise a plan to teach the perpetrator a lesson. However, behind his plan, Matt realized that the detective would not just let him go because the detective still thought that Matt was the perpetrator behind the bombing. Matt immediately stepped on the gas without thinking, breaking through the police siege. At the same time, the reactivated signal made Matt contacted by the perpetrator. Without hesitating to answer the phone, Matt heard the voice of the perpetrator, who was very angry, and urged Matt, while threatening him to immediately sign a transfer agreement. However, unexpectedly, Matt did not seem to care. In fact, he bravely negotiated and told the perpetrator, "If you want the money, specify the place where we should meet in person." The perpetrator finally decided on a meeting place in a crowded place in the city center, where a demonstration was taking place. Not long after, a masked man entered Matt's car. There, he showed a remote control, which was the device that triggered the bomb explosion. It was confirmed that the man was the perpetrator. Confidently, the masked man told Matt to get the car moving and get away from the crowd. As they stopped in a deserted place, Matt was shocked to see who the man behind the mask was, which turned out to be Anders, his own best friend.
Surprise.
You're not as smart as you think.
Matt did not expect that just for money. Anders trapped him in a game of death. In fact, the explosion incident beside the railway tracks, where Anders should have died, was designed in such a way as to take advantage of the moment the train was passing by. Anders, confident in himself, took advantage of Matt's voice recording and threatened to hand over the recording to the police if Matt did not immediately sign the transfer agreement. The threat left Matt speechless. Moreover, Matt could not deny the evidence because the recording was enough evidence that Matt was the culprit. However, behind all that, there was one thing that Anders hadn't thought of. There were only two of them in the car. If the car exploded, they would die together. On this occasion, Matt had no choice but to commit a reckless act. After all, for him, being in jail was more humiliating than dying with the person who had hurt his family.
Pull over, Matt! Stop! Pull over, I'll kill us both!
I'm sorry.
The tilted condition of the car meant that a single movement could cause the car to fall into the river. Anders saw a remote control that had fallen and was stuck on the bridge railing. As Anders tried to retrieve the remote, Matt also managed to get out of his car and made the bomb installed in the car seat explode instantly. This time, Anders actually died in the explosion, and Matt survived. No one knew that Anders died from his own bomb, but thanks to the testimony of Zach and Emily, who reported that the perpetrator had called their father and threatened him, Matt was cleared of the charges. Matt later stated that €208 million had been transferred to the perpetrator's crypto account.